Today we're going to be making some barbecue ribs in the oven. Super easy. I'm just going to get ready and get some stuff out. This video is made for my sister-in-law in El Salvador, Franny. Hola cuñadita, ojalá que te guste el video. Espero que te ayuda mucho. Now we recently visited El Salvador, and I made this when we were there, and they loved it. They were very sweet about it. My family was, and I promised my sister-in-law that I was going to make a video so that it would help her when she wants to make it. So let's go back a couple of days ago when I prepped the meat, and then we'll come back to today when I end up cooking it. So I bought a Costco pack of pork ribs, and they always come in a bulk. So as some of you guys know, Costco sells in bulk. There were 3 racks of ribs in this pack. So what I'm just going to do is do some quick processing and cut these up into pieces because it's easy for me to store in plastic containers or plastic bags. So I'm just going to cut these into thirds and then get them bagged up, and then I'll separate what I'm going to be using for tonight's dinner, and then I'll show you guys how I get those all seasoned up. For me, it's always been easier to cook ribs, like the full-size ribs, in the oven because I can just leave them in there for as long as I need and they'll just get super tender. So I do like to rinse them off sometimes if they are extra bloody and juicy, and then I dry them off as best as I can. That way it's easier for the seasonings to stick to those ribs. So I put them in freezer bags, and I'm just going to put these in here. There'll be 2 dinners worth here, and I'll put those in the freezer. And this is what we're going to be cooking. I do salt them lightly, and I will end up putting some oil. I like to use avocado oil. I don't use vegetable or coconut or anything like that. I do always use avocado oil, but you can use any you can use any oil that you have on hand. The purpose for me for that is it also helps for everything to stick. The seasoning I'm using has iodized salt, it has garlic, it's got basil, it's got oregano, it's got celery. This is what I got in El Salvador. So I'm just gonna empty the packet that I already opened and used not too long ago, and then open up the other packet and fully empty it. Even though it's got some stuff already in there that I'm going to use, I'm going to add more. So this is paprika. This is smoked paprika. You can use regular paprika if you have that. Now these are 2 different brands, so they are a little bit different colors. So I am using the small spoon, like what you use for like cereal or something, or desserts. So this is the measurements. Whatever you see me do here, this is what I do. But you can always add a little bit more or a little less of each of these items, and it'll just be whatever the taste it is that you want. I like to add powdered onion because it is sweet and it just tastes good. But you can customize this to the flavors that you want to use for your ribs. Now you can create this seasoning from scratch. You don't have to use a seasoning packet or anything, but I'm just showing this because my sister-in-law has access to that flavoring pack. So just letting you know, and that's why I told you guys what was in the packet. But I do like to make sure that there's at least paprika and cumin in my seasoning. And this is the avocado oil. I'm just gonna coat just a little bit of it on top of the ribs. Now I did put some salt on top of the meat directly, and that is kind of to help with preserving the meat for the next couple of days, and just wanted to let you guys know to be careful with how much you put on there because this seasoning mixture already has salt in it. So once you mix everything and you know it's got some salt in it, taste that seasoning dry just like that so that you can get an idea of how much salt it may have. That way you kind of know about how much salt to put on the meat exactly. Now you don't have to do this obviously, but this is just, I'm just showing my process. We're just going to flip it over and do the exact same thing with the back side. A little bit of the oil, I rub it in, then we're going to put some more of the seasoning on there. Now I don't pack it on the back, but I just have a habit of also seasoning the back side because when you take a bite out of it, there'll be, you know, your mouth kind of goes around the bone when you pull the meat off. So I do want to have some seasonings on the back side. So I'm going to put it in the bag here, and I'm going to just store this for a couple of days. just in the fridge. There we go. Now the rest of the seasonings that was left over, I have a clean jar. I clean my jars, some jars, and I put them away for later use. So this is what I'm doing with my little one here. I'm gonna save the rest of that. All right, now it's been a couple of days and I'm going to finally cook this. And it smells so good. So in El Salvador, when I made it, I literally minced up by hand all of the garlic that I wanted to use, and I put it on top of the meat, and then I stored the meat with the garlic in it. You could do it that way, or you can do it this way. I just added some more oil to some prepared garlic, minced garlic that I had in the fridge. I make it kind of saucy, and then I just smother it on the meat, and so that when it's cooking for, 2 to 3 hours, it just has a little bit of a garlicky flavor, and it just tastes really yummy. So I'm just gonna set it here for just a second while I start the potatoes really quick. I put hot water in my pan, and then I'm gonna just start cooking it so that it starts to boil a lot quicker. So I'm gonna start cooking that. I'm also gonna get some hot water. This is a large coffee mug. I put hot water in it. It's about 1/3 to a halfway full. So I'm just pouring it in different areas in there because that's gonna create steam. I'm gonna pack this tight. And we're gonna put it in a preheated oven at 350 degrees. And I'm gonna start it for 2 hours. Okay, so we got the ribs in the oven, and they're gonna go for 2 hours. After the 2 hours are done, then I'll check them. They should be pretty much done, but I'm gonna go ahead and put barbecue sauce on them and then let them go for like another half hour. Because I cut them into like 3 different pieces, they may not take as long to cook because now they're separated. So smaller pieces of meat cook faster than bigger pieces of meat. So I have that going, and now the potato salad is started already and on its way. My mom has been asking me for some creamy butternut squash soup, and I bought a bag of some cut up butternut squash, and so I have those boiling as well. I have a video on that, and I'll share that in another video. I'm gonna start cutting up some onions and some celery to get ready for the potato salad, and then I'll show you how I put it all together. So I've noticed throughout the years that people make their potato salad a little different than I do. I have seen sugar in there, I've seen vinegar in there, black olives, a bunch of different things. But basically, this is how I do it. So dicing up some onion. You could do red onion too if you'd like, but onion and celery. I'm going to set this aside for just a second. My eggs are ready. I'm just going to take those out. And to help with the peeling process, this is really a good idea. So ice cold water for about 10 minutes. Once you like smash it on the side, not smash it, but crack it, it's so much easier to peel because when it's super hot and then you put it in a super cold environment, the egg pulls away from the shell itself, and it makes it so it's really easy to peel. So like my potatoes now, after about 15 more minutes, they are done. When you see a little crack there, you just want to check them really quick, but they should go through with a little bit of resistance. So my mama is going to go ahead and just peel them for me once they're cool. And I like to cut them into like 1-inch chunks. So this is how I do it. Just cut them into 4s and then chop, 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 chop. I'll do that with all 4 potatoes. And I really just do the exact same thing almost with the eggs. I'm gonna put all of that in there because I just love the crunch of onions and celery. I don't always do this, but I am gonna put some pickles in it. I have seen people also put like sweet relish, what you would put on your hot dogs. So yeah, I've seen that too. But I'm gonna do these. These are the regular like sandwich or hamburger pickles. And now I'm not using measurements. I'm just using a bigger spoon that you would use like for soups. I believe that's what I have there. Yeah, that's what I have there. And we're gonna do probably 2, that's probably 3 or so, 3 scoops, and then a nice big drizzle of regular mustard. And then you just want to mix it and mix it. Now sometimes it's a little too dry for me. I like to have that, not a mayonnaise, like a heavy mayonnaise taste, but like this right here was too dry, so I added another scoop. And I have some dry parsley, and I just like how pretty it looks with all the little specks of the green, so I use that. You don't have to. You can do pepper if you'd like. You can also do some of the paprika in there too. Now I have the garlic salt that has all of the little bits of parsley. I forgot about that. So I'm going to season it with that, and make sure that you do taste this throughout as you're putting things in there, because there's salt in the mayo and salt in the mustard, so you don't want it to be over salted. I'm going to add a little bit more garlic salt in mine, and then after I mix it, I just set it aside in the refrigerator. Okay, it's been 2 hours. We're going to take a look at this meat. I'm going to use Sweet Baby Ray's brand of barbecue sauce. This is a regular flavor. Ooh, looks so good. Let me get a close-up here for you guys. See how spongy that is? That is soft meat, y'all. And it's going to go in for like another half hour. So I'm going to do something real stupid here. Don't do what I'm doing. When you're doing this part, just keep going and keep putting the barbecue sauce on. But I'm going to show you something I did that's stupid. I did something stupid. So the pressure built up in the bottle when I started to shake it, and that's just, you just don't want to do that. So don't do what I did. Anyways, it's going to go back in for a half hour, and I'm going to clean a little bit. There's the dinner bell. It is all done, and I'm just going to let it set for a second so that I can handle it. It is looking so yummy. Once it cools a little bit, I'll just cut in between the ribs and serve it up. It came out very, very tender. I'm going to pull it apart so you can see what it looks like. Oh, it's so soft. Oh. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.